guys, how you going? My name's Rosie. I'm going to be taking you through your yoga class this evening. Just a quick little reminder that if you do want to make my screen bigger, press on the three little dots on my screen and then you can click on pin video and that will make my screen bigger so you can see what I'm doing. Also, if you do feel comfortable popping on your video, it does kind of help me with technique to see what you guys are doing. So if you feel comfortable, if not, it doesn't matter. Alrighty, and just a quick reminder as well, just to listen to your bodies. If something doesn't feel right, take a break, take the regression, or if you do want to challenge yourself, you can take the progression that I'll be offering. Okay, so we'll start in a seated position today. So sitting up nice and tall through the spine. So find that length through your spine, comfortable seated position. And closing down your eyes. And let's just take a moment to settle in on our mats. So feeling your sit bones nice and heavy on your mat. And starting to notice what your breath is doing. So I'm going to start off with some breath work. So noticing your normal everyday breath. So you can close down your eyes. We're going to direct the breath through our nose. So in and out through the nose. Let's start to gently slow the breath down. So in and out through the nostrils. As you start to lengthen through your inhales and your exhales, noticing the movement through your chest, through your belly as you inhale. So your chest expanding, your belly rising or puffing out. And as you release all of that air out, just notice that gentle recoil back towards center. See if you can slow your breath down a little bit further. So you might like to have a count in your head of 4 or 5, or maybe even 6 if that's okay for your lung capacity. And use this count for both your inhales and your exhales. So really slowing the breath down. And then see if you can start to imagine the breath expanding throughout the body as you inhale. So noticing the breath traveling down through your legs to your toes, through your arms to your fingertips, out through the side waist, and out through the crown of the head. Let's try to stay connected with this breath. So using our breath as our anchor for our practice. So if you do find that your mind starts to wander, bring yourself back to your breath. Bring your attention back to those nice deep belly breaths, deep inhales, deep exhales. Now if you do have your eyes closed, gently open your eyes. Let's all take an inhale as we reach those arms up. Looking up as your palms touch, and exhale, bringing hands down through heart center. We're going to do this 2 more times. Inhale, reach arms up. Exhale, coming down through heart center. One more time, reach those arms up. And on this one, we're going to bring our right hand down to the mat and then reach that left arm up and overhead. So drop your bottom shoulder away from your ear. And we're just getting that nice lateral side body stretch here. Both sit bones stay connected to the mat. Let's take an inhale as we lift ourselves back up. And as you exhale, we're going to come over to the other side. Remembering both sit bones stay connected, drop that bottom shoulder away from your ear. Let's do one more time on each side. Inhale as you lift up and exhaling over to the other side. Noticing what side feels more open. Let's inhale to lift up and exhaling over to the other side. Take that inhale as you lift yourselves all the way back up. We're going to bring our left hand to our right knee and our right hand to the base of our spine. So you're twisting through the belly. Keep that length through your spine. And not too much weight is in that back hand. When you're ready, coming back through to center, we're going to go straight on over to the other side. So twisting over to the other side, length through the spine, not too much weight into that backhand, twist through the belly. And then we'll come all the way back through to center, reach those arms up. Let's bring hands down through heart center and we're going to fold over our thighs. So start to walk your hands forward and just fold over, releasing your head down towards the mat or to the mat if it reaches. And then walking your hands all the way back up. We're going to make our way into a tabletop position. So if it's comfortable, you can roll over your knees or just bring your legs out to one side. And we're finding that tabletop position with our knees underneath our hips, wrists underneath your shoulders. Spread your fingers nice and wide and press the tops of your feet into the mat. Nice neutral spine to start off with. Let's work through cat and cow. As you inhale, drop the belly, tilt the pelvis, draw your chest forward in between your upper arms. As you exhale, round through the spine, tuck your tailbone, look towards your belly button. Inhale as you drop the belly, looking forward, open out across your chest, and exhaling as you round through the spine. And let's just continue on here in our own time, in our own breath, guys. So finding that nice flowing movement, slow controlled movements with the breath. On your next inhale, we're going to come back to our neutral spine. So finding neutral spine tabletop position, let's inhale as we reach up through that right arm. So lifting it up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to thread the needle. So threading your arm between your left, bringing your shoulder and your cheek down to the mat. Keep your hips squared off. Reach up through left fingertips up towards the ceiling. So actively peeling your chest open. And then see if you can wrap your hand around and take hold of your right thigh. If you can't quite reach, just holding onto some clothing. Really peeling that top shoulder back. Reaching fingertips back up to the ceiling. Pressing your hand into the mat and we'll lift all the way back up. So reach that right arm back up to the ceiling and then back down to the mat. We'll do the other side. Inhale as you lift up through that left arm, and exhale, thread the needle, shoulder and cheek come down to the mat. Hips stay squared off, reach up through right fingertips. And then see if you can wrap that hand around and find your left thigh this time. So peeling that top shoulder back. Reaching fingertips back up to the ceiling, back down to the mat. Press yourselves all the way back up. Reach that left arm up and then back down to the mat. Bringing knees and feet together, sinking hips to heels, and we're going to come into a child's pose. So relaxing your forehead down to the mat. Actively press your hips back towards your heels. And just take a moment to settle into your child's pose, our resting posture. So if you ever do need to take a break, guys, coming into this posture, coming back to your breath. From here with your arms outstretched as far as they can possibly go, we're going to walk our hands off the left-hand side of our mats. Stack your right hand on top of your left, but keep actively pressing those hips back. You should be getting that nice side body stretch through the right-hand side. Coming back through to center and straight on over to the other side. Stack left hand on top of your right. Actively press those hips back. And then walking your hands back through to center. So arms are extended out as far as they can possibly go. Fingers are spread nice and wide. Lift up through tabletop, tuck toes. Let's come into our first downward facing dog. So I like to talk you guys through some alignment points in our first downward facing dog. So we will be here for a few breaths. If you need to at any point, you can just drop your knees down and take a break. So just taking a look at your feet, they're hip distance apart. Feet are slightly turned inwards. Take a soft bend through your knees and really exaggerate that tilt of your pelvis up towards the ceiling. And then actively press your chest back towards your thighs. Just taking a look forward, your hands are about shoulder width or a little bit further apart. You're pressing down and forwards into your hands, so there's no weight in your wrists. You shouldn't be feeling any pain in your wrists. Then give your head a bit of a nod, a bit of a shake. And then we'll just bring some movement into our downward facing dog. So keeping your hips where they are, release one heel, then the other. And just feeling that really beautiful stretch through the back of your legs as you release each heel. And then coming back to stillness. See if you can rest those heels a little bit closer down towards the mat. Let's take an inhale as we extend that right leg up to the ceiling. And as you exhale, step that right foot forward, top of the mat, left knee releases, untuck your toes. Let's come into a low lunge. Reach both arms up, sink your hips nice and low, maybe looking up in between your hands. Take an inhale here, exhale, hands come down, frame that front foot. Tucking under through left toes, step it back, downward facing dog. And we'll do the other side. Inhale as you lift your left leg up. Exhale, step that left foot forward. Right knee releases, untucked toes. Let's lift those arms up, low lunge, sink those hips down nice and low. Take an inhale here and exhale, hands come down to frame that front foot. This time, guys, we're going to step it forward to the tops of our mats. Standing forward fold. So relax your belly onto your thighs, hold onto opposite elbows, and just gently rock side to side. So deep and pressing through your spine, crown of the head reaches down towards the mat. Let your arms relax down towards the mat. We're going to bring our left hand in front of our face onto the ground. So bend your knees if you need to, a little bit deeper. And then we're going to reach up through right fingertips. So straighten out through that right leg. Nice deep bend through your left knee. Coming into a twist. Let's bring that right hand back down. Lift up through that left arm. Straighten out through your left leg. And then bring your left hand back down to the mat. We're going to gently roll up one vertebrae at a time. Squeezing through your glutes as you lift all the way up. Big roll of those shoulders at the top. Standing in your mountain pose at the tops of your mat. So big toes together, heels slightly apart. Tuck your tailbone under, engage through your core, palms to face forward. Lift your shoulders up, down and back. So open out across the chest. Slight tuck of your chin to your chest. Let's take an inhale as we reach those arms up. Exhale, swan dive forward. So bend through your knees, protect your lower back. Come into your half lift, hands to your shins, extend through your spine, straighten out through your legs. Exhale as you fold it forward. Inhale, reverse swan dive, circle arms out and around. Come up with a flat back. Bring hands down through heart center. Let's do this again. Inhale, reach arms up. Exhale, fold it forward. Half lift. Plant your hands. We're going to take a big step back with that right leg. So big step back with that right leg. Release your right knee down. Let's lift it up into our low lunge. So sink your hips nice and low. Reach both arms up. We're going to bring hands down through heart center. We're going to hook our right elbow, so lean it forward and then hook right elbow to the outside of your left knee and use the bind to really help twist yourself around. So twisting from the belly. Bring it back through to center, reach both arms up. Bring hands down to frame that front foot. Tucking under through right toes, we're going to step it forward to the tops of our mats. Inhale to your half lift. Exhale, fold it forward. And reverse swan dive, circle arms out and around. And bring hands down through heart center. Inhale, reach arms up. Exhale, fold it forward. Find your half lift. Plant your hands, take a big step back with that left leg. Left knee releases, untuck toes. Let's reach both arms up, low lunge. Sink those hips down nice and low. Hands come down through heart center. Lean it forward. This time, left elbow to the outside of your right knee. So use the bind to twist through your belly, looking out over that right shoulder. Nice work. Let's come back through to center. Reach both arms up as you inhale. Exhale, hands come down to frame that front foot. Tucking under through left toes. This time we're going to step it back into our high plank. So step that right foot back, find high plank, top of the push-up, squeeze through your glutes. Release your knees down, untuck toes. So kneeling plank position, you're still squeezing your glutes here, and then we're going to lower all the way onto our bellies. Let's come into our cobra from here. So hands are underneath your shoulders. As you inhale, you're going to press your hands into the mat. Lift up through your chest, shoulders release down and back. Exhale, fold it forward. Let's do this 2 more times. Inhale as you lift up. Exhale, fold it forward. 1 more time. And then press your way through tabletop, tuck toes, back to downward facing dog. On your next inhale, let's lift that right leg up to the ceiling. As you exhale, step that right foot forward. Left heel releases to a 45-degree angle. Square your hips and your chest off to the front of your mat. Reach your arms up and come into your warrior one. So lunging deeply into that right leg, press out through that back left heel. So feel as though you're trying to tear the mat apart with your feet while still squaring hips and chest off. Take an inhale here, and as you exhale, open out, warrior two. So you might like to widen your stance a little bit here. Make sure that you've got heel to arch alignment with your feet. Arms are at shoulder height, and shoulders are releasing down and back. You've got that nice deep lunge into your right leg here. Flip your front palm. We're going to reverse our warrior. So left hand down your left leg, right arm reaches up towards the ceiling. Keep that lunge into your front leg. So don't lose that lunge. Let's bring it back, warrior two. Right elbow to right knee, left arm sweeps up and overhead, extended side angle. So you're trying to make that nice straight line with the left-hand side of your body. Keep that lunge into your front leg. And let's power up through those legs, bring it back into warrior two. Take an inhale as you straighten out through that right leg. Look up, palms touch. Exhaling as you lower back down. Inhale as you lift up. Exhale to lower. One more time. And lowering down. We're going to come into or transition into our triangle pose. So straighten out through that front right leg. Take a little baby step in with that back leg. So shortening your stance a little bit. Left hand to left hip. And with both legs straight, we're going to reach forward with right fingertips. When you can't reach any further forward, bring your hand to your ankle or your shin. Peel your chest open. So try to stuck through shoulders and then reach up through left fingertips. So you're actively pressing that bottom hip forward. And just take your gaze to wherever's comfortable for your neck. Guys, you should be getting a really nice deep stretch through the inside of your right thigh. And then we'll all look down towards our right toes. We're going to transition into a balance from here. So bring your left hand back to your left hip. Bend through your right knee. We're going to bring our right fingertips down onto the ground. So they're just diagonally in line with your right little toe. And then lift your weight into that right leg. So you can start by just lifting your foot up off the mat. And just playing with your balance here. And then maybe lift it to about hip height. Flex through that right foot, so you're pointing your toes out towards the side wall, engaging through both legs here. So engaging through that standing leg as well as that lifted leg. Next option is to reach up through left fingertips. And our last option is to take weight out of our bottom fingertips, even if it's just for a second, and find your balance here in our full half moon pose. And then we'll bring that left hand back down to the mat, square off through your hips. Take a big step back with your left leg. So we're in a nice deep lunge position. And we're going to come into our lizard pose from here. So release your back knee down, untuck toes. And then you're going to walk your right toes so they're just off the edge of the mat. So your heel is on the mat, and your toes are off. So it's to a 45-degree angle. Okay, so this is our first option. This is a really deep hip flexor stretch. So if you're already getting the stretch here, stay upright and try to keep that length through your spine. If you're quite flexible through your hips, and you know you can come a bit further into this one, you can bend through your elbows, but try to keep that length through your spine. And if you're super flexible, you can bring your forearms all the way down to the mat. I'm not going to get there today, but do what feels good for your body. Two more breaths here. See if you can soften through those hips. When you're ready, if you're not already up on your hands, lifting up onto your hands, we're going to walk that right foot so that it's back into the center of the mat. Bring your weight back into your left knee. And then step that right foot back. Bring your knees to about mat width apart, big toes together. And we're going to come into child's pose from here with our knees nice and wide. Extend your arms out. And maybe just noticing here that one hip is going to feel a little bit different to the other for the moment until we work through the other side. We're just going to work through a bit of a back bend before we work into the other side. So bring your self to sit up onto your heels. Just bring your knees a little bit closer together, not fully together. From here, bring your right hand to the base of your spine, so behind your back. And then we're going to reach up through left fingertips and press our hips up towards the ceiling. So press your hips forward, coming to that back bend. Let's sweep that left arm down and around and come over to the other side. So sweep that right arm up, press your hips forward, come into your back bend. So gaze to follow right fingertips. Sweep that arm back down and around. We'll do one more on each side. Reach that left arm up, press your hips forward. Sweep that left arm down and around to the other side. And then we'll sweep that right arm back down. Extend your arms out in front of you, tucking under through your toes, come back, downward facing dog, and just walking out your dog, so pedaling out through your feet. And then coming back to stillness. Let's take an inhale as we lift that left leg up. Exhale, step that left foot forward with control. Right heel releases. Square hips and chest off. Press out through that back heel. Reach both arms up. Warrior one. So you've got that nice deep lunge into that left leg this time. Shoulders release down and back. Take an inhale here, and as you exhale, open it out into your warrior two. So widening your stance if that feels good for you. Nice deep lunge into that left leg this time. Try to think about stacking your shoulders above your hips here, guys, rather than leaning too far forward or too far back. From here, we flip that front palm. Reverse your warrior, so reach that left arm up to the ceiling. Keep that lunge into your front leg. Bring it back, warrior two. Left elbow to left knee, right arm sweeps up and overhead. You're looking underneath that right armpit. Find that nice straight line with the right hand side of your body. Beautiful work. Let's lift it back up, warrior two. Inhale as you lift up, straighten out through that left leg, palms touch. Exhale as you lower down. Inhale to lift up. Exhale, lower down. Lift it up. And lower all the way back down. We're going to straighten out through that left leg. Take a little baby step in with that right foot. Right hand to your right hip. Let's come into triangle pose on the other side. So you're reaching up and out through the waist. When you can't reach any further forward, hand comes to your shin or your ankle, peel your chest open and then reach up through right fingertips. Press that bottom hip forward. So trying to stack through those shoulders, and it's almost as if you want to try and stack through hips as well. Let's transition into that balance posture. So right hand to your right hip, bend through that left knee. You're going to bring fingertips diagonally in line with your left little toe. And then weight comes into that left leg. So even if it's just for a second, you're just lifting that right leg up off the mat. We're really playing with our balance with that standing leg. And if you have found your balance, flex through that right foot. So engage through that right leg as well as the left. Maybe reaching up through right fingertips. And then maybe even playing with bringing weight out of those bottom fingertips. And finding our full half moon pose. Let's bring our right hand back down, square off through your hips. Take that big step back into your nice deep lunge. Release your back knee down. We're going to come into lizard pose on the other side. So you're walking left toes off the mat. Your heel is on the mat, toes are off the edge of your mat. And try to take the same version that you took on the other side. So either upright, keep that length through your spine. You can bend through your elbows or come all the way onto your forearms. And just take a moment to notice what side feels easier for you to come into. Use your breath, each exhale, try to soften those hips down. Two more breaths here. When you're ready, if you're not already there, coming back up onto your hands, walking that left foot so it's in the center of the mat. Weight comes back into your right knee, and then we'll step that left knee back, knees nice and wide again. Again, big toes together, sink hips to heels and come into your child's pose. And just softening here, feeling that openness through your hips. When you're ready, we're going to walk our hands back towards our hips. We're going to release over onto our bottom, so bring your legs out to one side. From here, we're going to come into our boat pose. So just working through our core a little bit before we start to slow things down. So hands behind your thighs, soles of the feet flat to the floor, and then lean your weight back until your arms are nice and straight here. Open out across your chest, so nice and open through your chest. Lift one leg up into tabletop, and then lift the other leg up into tabletop. So this is our first option, keeping your hands underneath your thighs. Next option is to extend those arms out and hold here. Or maybe it's in your practice to extend your legs out nice and straight. I can't do that. But just feeling your core working really strongly here. Let's hold here for 2 more breaths. Stay open through the chest. And then we'll release our feet down. We're going to come down onto our backs, and we're going to come into our bridge pose. So we'll do one normal bridge pose, and then we're going to come into a single leg variation. So to set up, soles of the feet are to the mat, hip distance apart, and your heels are just out of reach of your fingertips. And then from here, press your lower back into the mat. So tilt through your pelvis, and then start to lift your spine away 1 vertebrae at a time. Squeeze your glutes to lift your hips up, come high up onto your shoulders. And then try to press your big toes into the mat so that your knees stay in line with your hips and your ankles, so they're not just falling out to the side. So it's almost as if we're engaging through our inner thighs as well. Lift those hips up, squeeze and hold. We're holding here for 2 more breaths. Take a nice deep inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to lower down 1 vertebrae at a time, nice and slowly. Tailbone comes down last. Drop your knees over to the right. Come back through to center and knees over to the left. And then coming back through to center, let's work through that single leg variation. So when you're ready, setting yourselves up, press your lower back into the mat, tilt through your pelvis, peel your spine away 1 vertebrae at a time, lift your hips up, squeeze through your glutes. And from here, we're just going to float our right leg up into a tabletop position. Keep your hips lifted here, so keep active through that left leg. Take an inhale as you extend your leg up to the ceiling, and exhale back into tabletop. Inhale to lift, and exhale to bend. Keep your hips lifted. 2 more breaths here.
And then we'll come back into tabletop. Lift those hips back up. Bring your right foot back down to the mat. Reset here, so lift those hips up and then all of your weight into that right leg, left leg comes into tabletop. Keep hips lifted and then extend and bend. Inhale to extend. Exhale to bend. 2 more here. Back to tabletop. Lift those hips back up and then back down. Let's lift those hips back up as we inhale and then exhale, roll it down 1 vertebrae at a time. Nice and slowly. Tailbone comes down last. Arms out into a nice wide T. Drop your knees over to the right and look out over your left shoulder. Coming back through to center and over to the other side. Coming back through to center, and we're going to finish off with our Shavasana. So extending your legs out in front of you, let your feet fall out to the side, arms out beside you with palms facing up towards the ceiling. Slight tuck of your chin to your chest. And just take a moment here to make any final adjustments where you are on your mat. Also taking a moment to scan through your body and notice where you can let go. So where you still might be holding on to any tension in your body. Let your breath go. So come back to your normal everyday breath. We'll just spend the next couple of minutes here in our conscious relaxation. And just starting to gently move through your fingers and your toes. And on your next inhale, take your full body stretch. Reach your arms up and overhead. And then draw your knees into your chest. And let's make our way over to one side into the fetal position before coming up to that comfortable seated position. Sitting up nice and tall through the spine.
Let's all take an inhale as we reach those arms up. And exhale, hands come down through heart center, bow your head to your heart, close down your eyes. Thank yourselves for making it to the mat. Thank you so much for sharing your practice, guys. I hope you enjoyed class. Namaste.